Sorry.
There, I see it. So welcome to the Indigenous Emerging Artist Pitch Session. We're so glad you could join us. My name is Roseanne Harder, and I'm the ED of the Manitoba Arts Network. MAN connects, showcases, and promotes visual and performing artists with communities across Manitoba. The Manitoba Arts Network and our members live and work on 31, 2, 3, and 5 territories. We acknowledge and appreciate the past, present, and future generations of the Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, Dene peoples, and the Métis Nation, as well as the Inuit people who have a strong community here in Manitoba. This year's Indigenous Emerging Artist Mentorship took place in Gimli, Manitoba from October 4th to 7th with mentors Tracy Bone and MJ Danino. Rhonda Head coordinated the program with support from Shanine Robinson Desjarlais at Manitoba Music. The artists recorded their showcase videos in the Farmers Hall on the last night for us to share with you tonight. Rhonda was going to be the MC tonight, but unfortunately she is unable to join us because she has fallen ill. So we have sent her our best wishes for a speedy recovery. So I am taking her place. I know I won't do as good of a job as Rhonda's emceeing, but I'm going to do my best. I would like to thank our funders and sponsors, Canadian Heritage, Manitoba Arts Council, Province of Manitoba, Manitoba Music's Indigenous Artist Development Program, National Arts Center, and Factor. So quickly, I'm just going to go over some Zoom etiquette. In efforts to respect the artists while we are viewing their videos and while they are talking, we are muting everyone to reduce background noise. We will unmute everyone during the Q&A portions of the evening. A window will appear asking if you want to be unmuted, and just select the unmute button. We will open up the Q&A for everyone to ask questions to the artists. So now, I would like to introduce our first artist who grew up in the Métis village of San Clara, Manitoba. Becky Liu had her very first performance at 3 years old. Now she can be found singing for local organizations and functions such as the Roblin Agricultural Society, Roblin District Community Foundation, and the Métis Local. Becky has recently received 3rd place at the Into the Muskeg Indigenous Talent Search 2020. So now I'm going to share my screen and I will share with you her video.
This is a song actually that I redid. My dad wrote the song when he was in his, I want to say, late 20s, early 30s. When he was starting to get a family together, and he was with my mom, and you know, it's about my mom basically. He wrote this song for a female to sing, and when I had picked it up and learned it in my own way, in my own key and stuff, he had said, you know, I wrote that song for a female to sing, and that's amazing that you did that, and I want you to take the song and make it yours. So that's where this song comes from. I've always listened to him sing it and always felt something about this song, and I felt like I could relate to it a lot in a way. So I'll let you listen to it and see what you think. Wakes up and finds another rose on the bed. She knows that he ain't ever coming back. So she picks it up and takes the petals off one by and always turns out on her best. You hide your head, so you go on with your life, crying tears that fall like rain, searching for folks with no name. Every heart she takes, a sympathy for us, placing it upon the shelf all the rest, taking all the hits, she laid down some white face. Knowing full well she done her best. Loving God, oh, what a shame. Loving God, you hide your head, so you go on with your life, crying tears that fall like rain, searching for folks with your name. Few years down the road, she sets to watch the children suffer on the stove for their dad. She thinks all of the roses that she finally threw away, and the one she held on to that her name had. Loving on, oh, what a shame. Loving on, it's just a thing. So you go on with your life, don't want to fall like rain from the yes, finally found Mentorship with your name.
All right. So now I'm going to ask Becky a few questions. Becky, when did you know you wanted to become a musician?
Well, from a very young age, I always knew that I loved to sing. I didn't always know that I wanted to be a musician per se, but from a very young age, I loved listening to my dad sing. I grew up listening to him singing in the basement, karaoke, and I started singing from 3 years old on stage, and I just started doing it from there. And it wasn't until I got to be a younger adult into my 20s that I got the realization that I could take this seriously and that I may be good enough to do this kind of thing. And yeah, I'm looking forward to becoming a musician. I haven't always been a musician. I always loved to sing, but I'm becoming one, and I'm looking forward to all that's in the future for that.
Excellent. Can you tell us about any notable performance highlights or stories that you want to share with us?
Like you were saying earlier, I have sang for local organizations and talent shows growing up all my life. But one notable one that I probably won't ever forget was probably when I become older as well. I went on a ski trip a couple of years back to Banff, Alberta, and we were doing karaoke in a bar. Well, I wasn't doing karaoke. They were all doing karaoke. The bar was completely packed full of people coming from a small village, St. Clara, Manitoba, Roblin area. I've never experienced anything like that before. And my friends were like, you know, you should get up on stage. You really love to sing, and you're pretty good at it. You know, like people probably would like it. And yeah, they signed me up to sing, and you know, the bar was completely packed. I didn't think that there was going to be enough time for me to sing, but they worked it out. They had enough people bugging the DJ, I think, the crew that we had there on the ski trip. And the DJ called me up on stage, and I asked the bar, I said, do you guys like country? I wasn't sure. I was so unsure of myself. But then the whole bar reacted in such a way that I didn't expect. They were all cheering and all so supportive. And I sang Miranda Lambert, which is an artist that I've always looked up to my whole life, and the bar went crazy, and I'll never forget that.
Well, I'm glad you had the guts to do that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
What inspires you to write your songs, Becky?
I knew I've always liked writing in a journal from a young age. I haven't specifically wrote songs and made them, you know, songs, but I've always written poems and always written the way I felt and stuff like that. But my dad, he is a really good songwriter, and he doesn't get enough credit for it. He should, but he inspires me to become a better songwriter myself. And one thing that we have started doing is writing music together, and we find that with the melodies that I can come up with and the lyrics that he can come up with, and you know, we just mesh well together. And that's one of the plans that we have in the future, is we're going to start writing songs together more, and we're going to come up with a few songs and hopefully an album or two in the future.
That's really cool to have a partner in crime, right?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, he's the one that I've looked up to my whole life for music. I grew up listening to him sing every day.
Can you tell us the most important lesson or takeaway that you learned from participating in the mentorship?
Just one second. Did I lose you guys?
You're good.
You can still hear me? Perfect. Great. The mentorship was amazing. I wasn't expecting to have the opportunity to be a part of that, but once I heard that I was able to be a part of that opportunity, something inside of me just, like, you know, almost like lit a fire under me, and just wanted to, you know, keep going and keep doing what I've always loved singing, but never really thought of it as something that I could make money from or make a career, just because, you know, we don't get taught that in school. You don't get taught that you can be a successful musician in school. That's not what you get taught. And it wasn't until I got older that I realized that, you know, I can do this. If this is my dream, you know, I'm going to do it. And this mentorship, it helped me realize that I am able to do this kind of thing. And all the mentors that were there, MJ Dandino and Tracy Bone, Rhonda Head, all of you guys, like, they taught me so much, like, to be able to ground myself, and the music business industry side of things, stuff that I didn't know before. They really, like, you know, taught me a lot, and I took a lot away from that experience that I could use in the future.
Excellent. So now I'm going to open it up and take questions from the audience. So we will unmute everybody, or if you prefer, you can put your question in the chat. Does anyone have any questions?
When we gonna write a song?
Yeah. Oh, let's start collaborating. That's another thing about the mentorship. Collaborating is, you know, the new future. People aren't so, you know, this is mine lately. Like, people are like wanting to work together and have a network of getting things out there and making magical music together. And I'm looking forward to all of that in the future too as well. Like, really.
Great.
Cool. Anybody else have a question for Becky?
I just want to thank all the artists that did participate in the mentorship. I did learn a lot from you guys as well. You guys are so talented, and you guys are going to go so far in your career as well. Go for your dreams.
Awesome. Thanks, Becky, for joining us tonight. Our next artist is a Canadian Métis folk artist from Thompson, Manitoba. Artist IEAMI started performing in 2015, and since then has performed various settings such as coffee shops, house shows, arenas, live performance venues, and festivals across the country. Real's unique style of storytelling incorporates a strong sense of family, values, culture, as well as love for Manitoba and the prairies. So now I'm going to share the screen.
There we go.
You can see him now?
Yeah.
Say this
Yep.
That happens again. Please stop me.
How we feel when we're scared.
Yeah.
Can't keep away from my mind. And I worry all the time. And Sarah, like been up for you. And found all your sense. Like been up for you. And found all your sexual. Sarah, terrified. I'm just afraid of the light. The wall, white, terrified. Like been up for long. And found all your things. Like been up for all your sexual and I
All right. Before I forget, we will be posting the entire showcase video for each artist on our YouTube channel next week. So each artist sang 3 to 4 songs as part of their showcase. Tonight we're only showing you 1 song each because we didn't feel people wanted to sit in front of their computers for about 2 hours. So, and also we understand internet challenges. So the videos will be on our YouTube channel to view at your leisure on your computer with your sound to see them in their full glory. So now I'm going to ask Riel a few questions. When did you know you wanted to become a musician?
Well, I'm just going to quickly just say, so that's my Facebook name is I am Riel. My artist name is just Riel, period, all lowercase. However, I wasn't able to put that into Facebook for some reason, so I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. Anyways, I got into music at, I don't know, I was like 2 or 3 years old. I'd go to my grandma's house and they had this old piano in the corner, and I would just go and I would like press buttons, press keys, and look at the notes and be like, what are those symbols? What does it mean? And so since I was a little kid, I've always been so fascinated with music, and it's always been integrated into my lifestyle in so many ways, or so many aspects. For example, my father passed away when I was quite young, but he was even a very, very talented musician, and he used to write music. And I slowly started growing up and doing the same things, and then finding out, oh, like, did you know your dad did that? Did you know your dad did that? And I was like, oh, that's so cool. And but I've been passionate about music since I can remember, and it's always been something that's definitely been very close to who I am as a human, I guess.
That's wonderful to hear about that, and that art has touched you in so many different facets. Do you have any notable performance highlights or stories that you want to share with us?
Yeah, I've done, like, I feel like I have all these, I have like an embarrassment of stories when it comes to all the things that I've been able to do over the course of the years. I was in a band in Thompson, and we were able to share the stage with the Sheepdogs, the Watchmen, 5440. And so that was super, super cool. And at the end of the night, when we were doing a show with the Sheepdogs, we went into their dressing room at the end of the show, and the drummer in my band was like, hey, you guys, like, we have this band space, come on over, like, come jam. So we ran back to the house and we set everything up, and we thought, oh, they're never going to show up. And then lo and behold, they all showed up, and we ended up playing CCR music all night. And then at the end of the night, the lead singer, Ewan from the Sheepdogs, it was like 3 in the morning, and they were like, we have to go, like, essentially pack up our stuff now and just go to the airport and leave. So he like chugged the rest of his bottle of wine, slammed it on the table, or signed it, pulled out a Sharpie, signed it, slammed it on the table, and said, okay, till next time, boys. And so that was super, super cool. I could go on. I just last year performed with Joshua Hislop, who has over 200 million streams on Spotify. We're great friends now. We talk about music all the time. And yeah, so it's super cool to, Winnipeg and Canada, like, our music scene is so tightly knit, and we're all so welcoming, and it's so diverse. So it's really cool to meet artists that you look up to and share some experiences with them. So it's always been really, really cool. And I've always been honored to get to do these things too. Like, it's so cool. It's like, I get to do what I love and meet people that I've looked up to and play their music. And now we're, sitting around a campfire, sharing a beer. It's super cool.
Those are great stories. So where's that wine bottle now?
Alex has it. Yeah. It was his house. It was only fair he got to keep it.
Makes sense. So where did the inspiration come to write this song, the song that we just shared? Did we lose Rio?
I think he just disappeared on us, but there we go.
Oh, there we go.
I'm sorry. I don't know why. I did that.
Trick on us.
I touched my headphone and it turned it off. I don't know why.
Wow, it was like you threw the dust down and boom, you were gone. That was it. You know how to.
Yeah, I'm afraid to touch my headphones now. They keep falling out. But where did the inspiration come from to write this song? This song is a really personal song that honestly took quite a while to find a way of how I wanted to write it. This song's about domestic violence, and it's about Indigenous murdered and missing women. And I wrote it more, less under the premise of an action and more under how those actions reflect on your emotions and how you would feel in the midst of whatever is going on in that relationship. So for me, I wrote this song about my mom's best friend, Rhonda, who had 2 kids the same age as me and my brother. And we were at a sleepover, and she had just recently left her partner. And I guess he came back to the house while all the kids were asleep and found her and hurt her and hurt himself. And my mom came to the house the next day and I guess found everything the way it was. And yeah, because of my mom's best friend, they changed domestic violence laws in Manitoba. And it's super unfortunate, but I was always raised from a young age to be a protector. That's my role in society as a man, is to be a protector and to make sure that I'm protecting not only my family, but women and children. And so that was something that I was raised with since I can remember, like I said. And so it was important to me when I started wanting to write this song that I found a respectful way to do it. And so I chose to write it less on the action of domestic violence and more on the emotions and on how it can make you feel. And for me, that made it also very open to interpretation. It allows listeners to identify and grasp their own emotions or tie their own emotions to the song. And so it was a really good fit. I definitely, I have trouble with this song sometimes because it's so close to my heart and I know why I wrote it. And when I perform it with that notion of performing it, how I wrote it, why I wrote it. So it can be hard to perform, but I love the song. I am releasing it in a few weeks. I just finished mixing it, and super excited to release it. I have some really, really notable artists on the song as well, such as Sebastian Gaskin. So that's really exciting. I can't wait to release the tune. It's terrifying though.
It's such an impactful song. Thank you, Riel, for sharing the story behind that song. I feel like I have a deeper connection and deeper appreciation for it now. Would you like to tell us about an important lesson or a takeaway that you had from participating in the mentorship?
Yeah, one of the things that definitely caught my attention and was something that I'm now working a lot harder on was royalties and SOCAN and all of these things that I was unfamiliar with. You know, there's so many shows that we've done in the past. I'm just thinking, I'm like, you know, like in 2017, we did like 45 shows and we could have been paid in royalties for all those shows and we didn't know. And so it sucks to know that we lost out on all of that cash. And so it was, pardon me, super beneficial for me to get that information, knowing that that's the next step that I need to take moving forward in my career as a musician. So if I could take anything away, I took a lot from the mentorship, if I could take one thing and say the best thing that I learned, it was learning more about royalties from MJ and learning more about how it works and what channels that you need to go through. And there's so many different steps to get all your ducks in a row. So that was great information to take home.
Yeah, the intricacies of SOCAN now, especially with online stuff, is just it's overwhelming now. Yeah. And with that, I'm going to open it up and take questions from the audience.
Ask me stuff. Don't be shy.
Anyone want to unmute themselves or type something into the chat? Or did all my questions answer everything for everyone?
I'm glad we were able to see the dance moves.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm actually a terrible dancer, so I try so hard.
Part of the stage presence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was just about to say that it was nice to see that because your stage presence is really, it's awesome.
Thank you. I definitely like totally change when I go on stage because I'm so nervous, and then I try to say, I don't care what anybody thinks. And then eventually I just don't. I really enjoy performing live more than anything. So yeah, that was a lot of fun and nerve-wracking. Wish we could have seen Norway though.
Yeah.
Well, you will shortly.
Yes.
All right. So thanks, Riel, for joining us tonight. Our next artist is Sherry Shorting from Little Saskatchewan First Nations. Sherry has grown up in a family of musicians and singing in church. Now entering talent shows and discovering her joy for writing music, Sherry most recently took on Indigenous Languages program at Red River College, and along with 3 fellow students, created the Ojibwe music group Nagamuda, which means let's all sing. Sherry, did I pronounce that right?
Nagamuda.
Nagamuda?
Yeah.
Okay. Say it one more time, Sherry, and I won't try and repeat it.
Nagamuda.
Okay. And with that, I will share the screen and show you her song.
And I'll give it all I got. I know the love is gone from here. I feel it in my heart. But you don't seem to understand. I tried so hard to get over you. I wanted to believe that everything would be okay and you'll be here with me. But you don't want to hold my hand. Will it be another failure at this little thing called love? Will it be another mistake that made your life so tough? Will I be all alone? They say that time heals all your wounds. I wonder if that's true. All I've done is cry these tears. I wasted them on you, but you don't seem to even care. Oh no. Will it be another failure at this little thing called love? Will it be another mistake that made your life so tough? I'm so tired of even trying, and I finally had enough. But will it be? Oh, you. One day I'll understand why we got apart, why we weren't meant to be, each given a brand new start. And I want to smile again. Will I be free? Oh, will I be? Will I be free? Thank you.
Sherry, I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
So when did you know that you wanted to become a musician?
Oh boy. Like the last couple of people that have said something already, I loved music ever since I was a kid. I had cousins that would come and babysit me, and they'd bring their old records. And I pretty much memorized all of those songs that they would bring with them. And even as a kid, I could hold a note, which was really neat. And I started singing in church. When I knew that I really wanted to take music seriously was in the last, I guess you would say maybe the last 8 years. I've been writing a lot of songs and really putting my focus into the music that I'm writing. And yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's how I figured it out anyway. Like I said, since I was a child, and growing up, I've always been really good at writing. I started off with writing like short stories, poetry, and then I decided to try my hand at songwriting.
Well, you are a wonderful songwriter.
Thank you.
Do you have any notable performance highlights or stories that you'd like to share with us?
One of the, I guess, there's a few, but I would have to say that one of the memorable ones would be when I wrote my first actual song was back in 2011. I have a sister that deals with addictions, and I was living in Toronto. I did a lot of like the modeling and the acting out there, and so I was away from home. My sister's been dealing with addictions all her life, and I wrote a song about her in 2011, and I actually, NCI Jam happened here in Winnipeg in 2012, and my mom told me, send them your song and see if you make it. Well, I was selected. I made it, and it was really nerve-wracking to actually sing that song in front of everyone, and but I did it, and it was an interesting experience. I had a lot of positive feedback. A lot of people come to me afterwards and said, this song reminded me of my daughter. It reminded me of my mom. It really touched a lot of people, and for that, I'm thankful to God that He had blessed me with the ability to be able to get creative with my music, and to be able to have that ability to touch people and let them feel it too.
Wow. Tell us, where did the inspiration come from to write this song?
My sister. In the beginning of the song this song that I had written, sorry, this okay. One I just, sorry. I had a fight with my fiance. No, I can talk about this song. I actually, I had a fight with my fiance, and it was kind of like a rocky situation where I started to really question a relationship. And I literally wrote that song in 2 hours. I sat here in my bedroom, and I wrote that song in under 2 hours at 3 o'clock in the morning. And the next morning, I sent it to a friend of mine who plays guitar, and I said, hey, what do you think about this? Send it to him. And that's the music that you hear there. We put it together. That's so it's all about questioning your relationship. Is it going to last? Am I good enough? Or, what does the future hold?
Do you write all your songs in the wee hours of the morning, or just that one?
Anytime. It's really weird. I have this is my Bible for my phone. My phone right now has all my songs in it, and all of my lyrics, voice recorder, all my notes. I really should transfer it into paper right now, because if anything happens to that phone, there goes all my songs. But yeah, I'll be driving and I'll get hit with something, and I document it right away. I come home and I'll write it out. I just finished another song, actually. I in my phone, I have 23 songs right now. 5 of them are finished. So
that's great. Well, why don't you tell us about the most important lesson you learned from the mentorship program?
Oh man, I learned the most important thing was everything that they spoke about. wanting to get into the industry but not knowing where to start. Like, I have to give like so much respect to Rhonda, to MJ, to Tracy, and you know, to Shanine, to all of them. You know, they really filled me up with so much information. And then, you know, MJ with all of the this is where you go, this is what you do, and you know, it was so informative. And the first thing I did was I took all of my songs off of YouTube because she said, do not post anything until you've had it was registered it with SOCAN. So all these 3 songs that I had finished, I immediately deleted them and I signed up with SOCAN. I'm still waiting actually to hear back from them. I think I did something wrong, but yeah, learning that, you know, you have to keep your songs yours and to, you know, just you know, the whole industry was really cool to learn about. So yeah, I took a lot with me. I have a notebook full of valuable information, so I'm just really excited and happy about that.
That's great to hear about your experience. Thank you. I'm now going to open it up and take some questions from the audience. Does anyone have any questions for Sherry? Everyone is just in awe of all of you artists. Everyone's so quiet.
That one song you sang, Sherry, the one you shared with us with our mentor circle that we had, our little sharing circle.
Yeah.
I have a song stuck in my head. You're going to have to teach me it. I don't know Ojibwe or anything like that, but I give you props to that. You say your songs were to teach children, but I think that they can be really good to teach adults Ojibwe language too that are willing to learn, because it's catchy. And I have that song stuck in my head. I don't know how it goes exactly, but you know, I have it stuck in my head. So I appreciate your music, Sherry. Thank you. You're really talented.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I just wanted to add to that, Sherry. Like, I know you mentioned with your group, you also produced a CD with it.
Yes.
At Red River. So that also I thought was really cool. So you can actually, you know, get it yourself and learn it, and it has all your vocals in it and everything, and the rest of your group too. But that's worth mentioning as well.
Oh yeah, there's 2 sides of me. There's one side of me that's emerging as this solo artist, and then there's the second side of me that's emerging with my group of 3 classmates. You know, Red River College. We started this group, Nagamuda. And the whole idea was to teach children the language through song. And it ended up that it was, you know, adults got a hold of our CD and are like this. And we taught adults this language too. So we're working on our 2nd album. And, you know, everything that I've learned as far as the artist program, I talked to my group. I'm like, hey, like, we're sitting on something here. We need to go further. So they're really excited about it. And our goal for the 2nd album is to work on 10 songs. But yes, Niwanishin is very catchy, and that's why I decided to sing it. It's one of my favorites.
Definitely. I'll have to get that one off of you.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Sherry. And now our next artist is Nori Rablauskas. Nori, did I pronounce your last name correctly? Oh, sorry. How do you pronounce your last name?
It's close. It's close enough. Rablauskas.
Rablauskas. Okay. So unfortunately, Poplar River in northern Manitoba, where Norway lives, had travel restrictions during the mentorship. So he was unable to attend the mentorship in person. However, he was able to participate through Zoom, and he recorded his video at home. So after moving back to his home of Poplar River First Nations 15 years ago to raise his family, Norway started singing a few years later and soon began writing his own songs. He has been writing now for 5 years and has entered multiple talent shows over his time. over this time, including 3 NCI jams, which in 2019 he placed 3rd. So I'm now going to share my screen.
Across this great land, we were put here by the government who called us a friend. They took us from our families, forced us to be white. Our past may be broken, but our future will be bright. We have to stand up for our rights. We've got to stand hand in hand. Together we can change these things. We'll win a decade. Lean and waiting hand. We all spread across this beautiful land we call home. Canada's what they call it. We're the so-called free road. Children are still being taken from their families, but it's not their fault. It's their parents' tragedy. We have to stand up for our rights. We've got to stand hand in hand. Together we can change these things for a future in our land. For a future in our land. Not enough is happening to prevent these things. No help from the government who live like kings. Together we can work together and run as one. Forget our differences, make them hide and run. We have to stand up for our rights. We've got to stand hand in hand. Together we can
Thank you, Norway. I'm impressed for a home recording. That sounded fantastic. So now I'm going to ask Norway a few questions. When did you know that you wanted to become a musician?
I was thinking about that question, and like I never thought it took me a while, I guess I could say. I know as a kid growing up, you know, I would listen to music that my mom would play, and then after a while, I would be in my room, pretending to have concerts pretending to play a guitar, pretending to sing into a microphone, you know. But even at that point, I didn't even really see myself doing it for real. But then, like I had mentioned in my bio, that I started writing songs a few years ago, and I think that's when it kind of really realized that maybe I could do that. And so, you know, I didn't realize it till maybe later on in my life, but maybe about 5 years ago, I guess, would be when.
All right. So do you have any notable performance highlights or stories that you want to share with us?
Like performing wise, I haven't really done it in too many places. Most of the times I have performed on stage were during talent shows. So those talent shows were very, very nerve-wracking for myself, and then just the pressure that's put on the performers, and you know, the bio said too, the biggest one is winning 3rd place at the NCAA Jam last year. And that was really huge for me and my confidence. And I sang that song, the one that was just playing there too. So, but I always kind of laugh because every time I've sang this song, it kind of has been played differently by different bands over the years. I always laugh and say it's always a different, sounds like a different sound each time it's played somewhere, because I've done it. I've sang that song in town shows and in Little Grand Rapids, and then I done it in here in Poplar River a couple of times, and then I it wasn't a competition, but I did. I know the Westbrook used to have a Westbrook Hour, and they would play. Bands would play, and I did get a chance to be a part of one show and play. Did that song with I can't remember the band now. Slipped my mind. I think it was the Dick Brothers, maybe. So yeah, I used to laugh. It's like this song has been played different versions every time I've sung it. But yeah. So there's other stories too, but I think that this one especially just always makes me laugh, because each time I bring it out with the band, they play a different way, and I'm usually good at adapting to who's playing, and it usually works out better, I think.
Well, congrats for winning the talent show. That's an awesome experience. Can you tell us about the most important takeaway or lesson?
Yeah, it is.
Go ahead.
Well, unfortunately, I didn't get to really hear the whole thing, but from what I did listen to that first day, you know, the others have mentioned, Daniel and Sherry mentioned, you know, all that stuff about the registering your music, registering for all those different types of media, I guess you can say. You know, I had no clue had no clue before what it actually took to get to make sure you look after yourself in the business, because I never experienced any of that before. And I think, you know, taking that information in, it really opens up your eyes, because you're kind of like, I was kind of shocked that it you have to do that to protect your music and yourself. And I think that's the most important thing I learned from what I saw.
Definitely. Well, thank you. I'm going to open it up now and take questions from the audience.
I think you skipped a question there.
Did I? Oh, I'm sorry.
About why I wrote the song?
Where did the inspiration come from to write that song? Did I miss that question?
No, that's the one you missed. Yeah, that's the one you missed.
Thank you for catching that. So tell us about the inspiration.
For that song, well, that song, I was actually working here in Poplar River. I was a member of council for 4 years, and I did write that song during those 2 terms. And you know, I was paying attention to all the news stories that were going on around that time, and I think it was after. I think it was like a few days after when that young woman was thrown into the Red River twice. I think. What was her name now? I don't know. I can't think of her name, but she was beaten and thrown into the river, and then she climbed out, and then she got thrown in again by one of our people, and then it kind of hit me. I'm sitting there like, you know, there's a lot of stuff that's been going on for years that you know, our government hasn't been really trying to help too much. And you know, the song like came out, you know, like we gotta start maybe doing things about it. I guess not doing things, but working together right across the board, right across Canada as Indigenous people. You know, we gotta start coming together and standing hand in hand to say, like, to stand up for our rights, you know, and for stand up for all the bad things that are happening, and trying to make a change in order to help our people instead of, you know, being brushed aside all the time. So that's kind of what came to me during the song, and I wanted to remind people that, you know, that our culture always had a rich history before all the stuff started to change for us. And I wanted to like add in, you know, protecting our land and and that too, because in some areas, you know, we are losing that. And you know, I just wanted to. It was just a little bit of frustration coming out on paper.
I'm sorry, I skipped that question.
You know, hopefully someday we can come together. Yeah.
I'm glad
so
that you pointed
maybe one
out
day
that
somebody in the higher ups maybe hear it. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I keep interjecting and you're not finished, so I apologize for that. But I wanted to thank you for reminding me to ask that question, up now, because there's such a rich history to that song that you shared with us, and I'm glad to hear that backstory. Did you want to add anything else?
I think I've said most of it. Yeah.
All right. We'll once again open it up to the audience for any questions.
I just wanted to say when Nore was speaking about how it's so important that Indigenous voices are heard, I totally agree. I don't know if you're familiar with the the quote that Louis Riel has that says that our people will sleep for 100 years, but when they awake, it will be the artists that give them their spirit back. And I think that's such a powerful quote because, you know, like, I mean, we look 20 years ago and there was a handful of Indigenous artists, and now, like, you look in Canada and like the talent all across the country is being shown, and voices are being heard, and things are coming to the forefront in a creative way, and people are listening. And so I think we're in a place right now of a real powerful change within the Indigenous music community. And so I noticed that year after year after year, I'm finding more and more Indigenous artists are being recognized and valued and appreciated and showcased across the country. So when you said that, I just wanted to I totally agree with what he's saying. It's so important that our voices are heard and that things are spoken about. So yeah, I just wanted to agree with you there. Not really a question per se, but definitely agreed with your answer. It was great. So
yeah, it's great to see the growth of the.
Thank you for that.
And sorry if I'm a little loud too. I'm just driving home right now from work, so
multitasking.
might hear my daughter singing in the back.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Norway, for joining us tonight. Our last artist for the night is Martin Desjarlais, Metis singer and songwriter from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Growing up in a musical family, Martin began playing and singing at a young age. He honed his musical skills through the cadet music program and various musical camps and workshops. His sound features classic country flair with a modern country rock twist.
Team for you. This one's called My Girl. This one I wrote.
Can everyone see the video?
It's been a little bit now.
Yeah, looks good.
I basically wrote the song.
Yeah.
All the fun times. Me and my wife used to have when we were younger and fun. And before we had kids, we used to go do some fun things, go to shows and country music festivals and all kinds of stuff like that. So this one's called My Girl. It's been a fun one. Yeah, it goes like this. Hope you guys dig it. You and me Saturday night, put on the dress, let's go jiggle around. Gonna get in trouble, treat you right. Gonna paint this town tonight. You climb in the cab of my truck, listen to a song about a red soul cup. Say, hey baby, let's hit the road. So I stepped on the gas, hey, let's go. My girl, I will never, you know, whatever, taking in a good show. Cause she's the one who makes me feel alright. Pretty girl, hey, wildfire. I surround burning like a wildfire. Because of mine, I won't lie. Cause she's my girl all the time. Hey girl, crazy like a test ride. Drop 100 signs, say it's 55. I low down, you drive me wild. So we drank one shot and have a couple more. Very soon we're heading for the door. She can't wait to love me all night long. My girl, I will never, you know, whatever, take it to the show. Cause she's the one who makes me feel alright. Pretty girl, hey, you are alive. I surround burning like a wildfire. Because of mine, I walk the line. Cause she's my girl all the time. It's the fun part when we have the full band, we double that. My girl, I will let you know whatever, take it in a good show. Cause she's the one who makes me feel alright. Pretty girl, hey, wildfire. I surround and burning like a wildfire. Because of mine, I won't lie. Cause she's my girl, yeah, she's my girl, and she's my girl all the time.
All right, Martin, I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Sure.
So when did you know that you wanted to become a musician?
Well, when I was a kid, my dad was in the music business for a lot of years. He still is. So yeah, like I grew up with music like from a young age. My dad plays guitar and lots of other different instruments, and he's a fantastic singer and songwriter. And yeah, so I grew up with music in the house all the time. You know, a lot of the old stuff, you know, George Jones, Merle Haggard, Waylon Jennings, that kind of thing. Yeah, like I would have definitely say country music for sure. Like I grew up a lot with, but I do enjoy all kinds of music. You know, on a given day, my radio station in the car will change, you know, depending on my mood for sure.
Well, it's great to have inspiration within your family. That's great.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Do you have any notable performance highlights or stories to tell?
Oh, I lots of them for sure. I play drums. Like I'm a drummer by trade usually. This singer songwriter thing is kind of new to me, but I'm a drummer by trade. So I mean, I've done a lot of, you know, shows with different bands here in Winnipeg. I've played with Ernest Monia, Seaweed. I've played with you know the who's who of the Indigenous music scene, the Dudiums, all those guys. So I mean, I kind of, you know, got my chops, you know, on the drums. You know, I played there for a lot of years, so doing the front guy thing is new to me. But yeah, I've done cool road trips and stuff. You know, driving the winter roads up north. If you've ever driven those roads that cross the lake and go through the bush and stuff, it's pretty cool. And different trips with cadets and things like that. You know, I did. I was selected for the honor band, they call it, back when I was younger. So you audition for that, and then they pick, you know, the best cadets from different cities, and then you go to one city, kind of like the residency type of thing, and then you sort of finish off with the big concert tour at the end of that. There, we played 3 or 4 different cities as part of that concert tour. So,
oh, that's great experience.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've got to see, you know, most of Canada. I haven't been out to the East Coast, but I've been all the way out to Quebec and all the way out to the West Coast on Victoria. As well, but I've never been up north, so you know, hopefully, you know, if this music thing pans out, it'll take me, you know, to see the corners of the country I haven't seen yet. But I've seen some beautiful things for sure because of music.
Oh, that's great. Where did you get the inspiration to write this song?
I thought you guys were going to pick the more serious one from the showcase there, the one that's got some meaning to it. But this one here, this one I actually wrote, it's a few years old now. I haven't released it yet. But I basically kind of just wrote it sort of reminiscing and thinking back of when me and my wife got married, or before we got married rather, and had kids. We used to, you know, do some fun things and, you know, travel and go to festivals and shows and, you know, bars and stuff like that. So it's kind of just a feel good reminiscent song of, you know, our younger days. We've been together now for 8 years. So married for 4, and last June it'll be 5 coming up this year. So it's kind of just a feel good song, you know, sort of recalling some of our more adventurous times together, you know, before we got, you know, boring and had kids and stuff, I guess. But yeah, we have 2 boys, and we got another kid on the way coming up here in April. We don't know what we're having yet though. So.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
And adventurous is a really good word for it.
Absolutely. Yeah. We went to, you know, we've been to folk festival, like, and you know, we went there the first year we were together, and we got to go check out folk fest there, and we went drumming at Pope's Hill, and we went to Wee Fest one time in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. So yeah, we've had some times for sure. Vegas too.
Vegas, wow, super cool.
Yeah, we went there for Halloween one year. It was pretty sweet.
Well, why don't you tell me about the most important lesson you learned from the mentorship program?
I'd have to say like a lot of the more of the music business side of things. Like, I mean, being a drummer as a side guy, you kind of just show up, set up your kit, make your $100 and you're out the door. But you know, this being the frontman, singer, songwriter thing, it's a business. It really is. I've been busy since I got back from the mentorship, signing up with SoCan and the different royalties, you know, companies and things like that. I've been busy writing again too. I actually got a new song that I finished off the other day. Really cool, catchy tune. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, so like the business side of things, MJ really taught me a lot as far as yeah, signing up for the royalties and stuff, my social media and stuff like that, you know, to be consistent and to have your postings all the same and your handles and things like that. So I've been busy with that. I got my Facebook page going. I have an artist Instagram account now, a music business email account. And I'm also in the process now of signing up, getting my business registered and getting my banking stuff all on that in order. And then, yeah, I'm just right now kind of hoping to be able to secure some kind of funding in the near future to at least get a single out. I got 4 really good songs ready to go right now that, you know, could probably do well at radio and stuff like that. So I'm hoping to get some money coming my way for, you know, funding and stuff like that for recording music videos. I just released a talking stick video too yesterday. That just came out through Indigenous music. So my song What They Say About Me is in that video. So if you guys want to check that out, I'm sure you can find the link to that on my Facebook page and on the Indigenous music page too.
Very cool. Well, it sounds like you have a really good start, and there's a lot more things that artists have to do nowadays than they did 10, 20 years ago with all the social media.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Well, I'm going to open it up and take questions from the audience now. Anyone have any questions for Martin?
Ask away, guys.
Just wanted to know, what's your bowling average?
You know what? Every time I bowl, like I throw my hip out, like I don't have any rotation in it. So if I bowl, like I'm feeling it for 2 or 3 days afterwards. So
like low 40s, high 50s.
Yeah, sure. Like I hit the pin, I hit the pins on every shot, anyways. I mean,
okay, attaboy. I don't have any questions for you, but yeah.
But that's really important information to have to put on your Twitter account as an artist.
Absolutely.
I definitely have that on my resume. Yeah.
Along with your golf handicap, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a fantastic golfer either, but I mean I go for the fellowship and hanging out with the boys, you know,
and the drinks.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. But not if I'm driving, because that's the downside to golf. I see these videos of like Florida man gets wasted at the golf course, and it's like, how does he get drunk if he's got to drive himself there? You know what I mean? Like,
poor planning. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being with us tonight, Martin.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Awesome. And again, thanks for all the artists for sharing their songs with us. And I want to remind everyone that we only shared one of their songs with you tonight, but we'll have all the rest of them posted on YouTube next week for you so that you can watch them at your leisure and hear them with your quality sound machines or sound systems. We just want to thank all of you for attending. And we'll send out the links next week. And if you're interested in booking these artists, please contact Leah Borchert. Tomorrow we have our AGM at 1 p.m. And please save the date for our RBC Emerging Artist Zoom pitch session on November 26th at 7 p.m. Leah, did you want to say anything? I'm putting her on the spot.
No, please. Yeah, I do. I just want to say thank you so much to all of the artists. It was so great to hear all of your performances and to hear you speak. I really, really enjoyed the opportunity. And I'm sure our presenters who have been watching tonight did as well. If you have any questions at any point, either to the artists or the presenters, about potential future opportunities, please get in touch with me anytime. I would be happy to hear from you.
And thank you for having me tonight. I get a little bit shy sometimes. I'm sort of getting over that one by one. Like I said, I'm new to this and it's a big step for me, so it's really exciting. So I'm looking forward to the opportunities coming.
Well, your shyness did not come across at all, Shelley.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. I just want to thank everyone that it takes to put all the amount of work it takes to put everything on, because it takes a lot of work to put these things on, you know, and a lot of times people behind the scenes don't get enough credit for that. And I just want to thank everybody. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you very much, you guys.
Well, your videos look fabulous. I was super impressed.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks everyone.
Okay.